So, hello everybody. Here we are again, evolving into the cosmic heart with Rachel and Minna tonight. Hi, Minna.
Hello. Hi, Elsa.
Hi. I'm afraid Jamie had to work today because she's going away, and so she had to do like extra things today. So she's very sorry, but she couldn't make it. But luckily for me, my friend Minna said that she will come and talk with me today. And we have
Yeah.
a bit of a special show for you today because we're going to be talking about Roskilde in Denmark, which has really special energies, and it's where me and Minna both live.
Yes. And
Yes,
we love it. So,
we do love it. We love it very much. So we're
yeah.
going to be going on about how much we love it.
Yeah. It's like I've been living here for 20 years and I'm over 50. So it's the first time I really feel like sort of like it's my home. It's sort of like place where I really connect with.
Yeah, that's it. I can't imagine living anywhere else, to be honest.
No, no.
I can imagine retiring in Glastonbury one day, but
Okay.
only if we've gone to electric cars.
Yeah.
There's some roads that go through Glastonbury, and it's really noisy. It's really because
Ah,
cars are noisy.
yeah.
If we go to electric cars, I think it'll be a lot nicer place to live.
Yeah. I might consider Tisville or some other, place by the water, but for now, yeah.
Yeah. I think one day, really, I want to live more in the countryside,
Yeah, me
somewhere
too.
with more nature and maybe some
Mm,
hills. I mean, there is sort of hills here, but I could do with a few more hills.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we thought tonight we would start with a bit of grounding for all of us. So,
Yeah.
as long as you're not driving, operating machinery, if you're able to, just close your eyes for a moment and just feel the physical space that you occupy, the presence of your physical body, and just feel yourself coming into this space. So, bringing all the bits of yourself together, because quite often we leave bits of ourselves all around the place energetically. Call all of those bits back to yourself and come into this one space where your physical body is. And just take some nice deep breaths. Breathing in calm. As you breathe out, just let go of the day or the week or the month or the year, as the case is with us these days. And just feel yourself just slowing down a little bit as we come into this circle together, of evolving into the cosmic heart. All of us that listen and cooperate with the show and the podcast in some way, the listeners and the people making it. We're in one big sacred circle together. And perhaps just imagine that there's a beautiful light forming as we imagine this sacred circle. And connecting us heart to heart in this heart space, heart fullness. Oh, it's so nice and quiet. I don't want to leave this space now. I want to
Mm.
stay here.
It's so lovely. Yeah.
We could do that. We could just meditate for an hour tonight, couldn't we, instead
Mm.
of talking? Just come on and meditate together.
Mm. Yeah, because we even, you know, you and me, maybe we take some time off every day, and being here or being in the nature, that's for me at least the best place to be in this moment. But we still, we do it all too little, you know. It's
Yeah.
yeah, because of like flying everywhere else, yeah, in our thoughts and everyday business.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get back some days where I'm out in nature, because a while ago, I don't know, I think this might have been a couple of years ago, I had the urge to go to Iona again, which is that little island I told you about off the coast of Scotland, and it's beautiful up there, and I love it. And I tuned into spirit, and I was like, "Am I supposed to go here?" And they went, "No." Go and connect to the land where you live. There's all these sacred places around here. Go and do that. And I was like,
Yeah.
Because you know, it's that thing, like we want to go somewhere, isn't it? We want to travel.
Yeah.
And then actually I realised that was fantastic, and I had a great time. And every one day a week, I would go out and go to a different like place, you know, around Roskilde. Yeah, around Roskilde.
Yeah.
And I would go and spend the afternoon there and do some drumming or do a little ceremony or just go and explore the place and talk to the nature spirits or whatever. And I've got out the habit now because I always have so much to do. I'm just sort of doing things all the time, but I've just come up with another little project that is going to make me go outside and take time. And I suppose that's one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, because it's to do with Roskilde. So somebody wrote to me the other day. It's an American lady, and she said, would it be helpful, because I wrote that guide to the sacred springs of Roskilde that's on my Etsy shop, and she said, I can't travel at the moment like a lot of people, but would it help me to get this guide? And because somebody else bought it recently from Scotland as well. And because when I initially was like thinking of all this, I was actually thinking to make meditations and things online, and I've just never gotten around to it, because I know, like from personal experience, it's quite possible to connect to energy places in other countries without actually
being there,
going there. And at the moment it's just the perfect time to because we are all a bit landlocked. I mean, of course we can travel, but probably we won't unless we have to. Meanwhile, it's still quite important that we go off and connect to these different types of energies, because it's sort of like it feeds our energy bodies the recipe of energies that we need, and we can't get that all at home because different places have different things to offer. So all the sacred places I've been to, I've only ever gone there when I've been called to. I've never gone there because I thought, oh, I should go to this place. Something happened and I get this sort of zzz, and I just know I get a call in one way or another, and I just know I have to go to that place. It's almost like it's already happened and it's already all been arranged. And I just have to
get the idea.
have to and actually physically go there. And and each of those sacred places I've been to, they've done things to my energy body. So when I moved to Roskilde when was that, 2014, so that's 6 years ago now, I was already like a well-seasoned energy traveler. Like, a lot of people go to places specifically for their energy, because they get called to go there. And when I came here, and there's just such amazing energies in Roskilde, and there's all these springs, and there's all these sacred like burial mounds and things around here, and so much history. I just couldn't believe it. And I just couldn't believe how few European travellers there were around. I mean, of course there are tourists, but they're not, you know, they're not the people that are like seeking out energies and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, you know, going visiting these springs and these burial mounds, and I'm like the only person there, and I'm like,
yeah.
Where is everybody?
Yeah,
you know. And so that was one of the reasons why I wrote the guide. But when I came here, I mean, the first year I just went around sort of connecting with one spring at a time. I didn't like rush round meeting them all at once, because they are really powerful energies, and I make essences from each, like vibrational essences, out of each spring that I go to. And when you make that vibrational essence, it's like it's more powerful than taking the actual water from the spring, because you put some water there and you do a thing, and then it soaks up the essence of that spring, because all of the elementals and the nature spirits and like the overlighting spirit of that spring puts all that force into your essence, and then it's held there in that water. I mean, it's really, you know, you really believe in magic when you do these things. It's like, and that bottle holds it then.
Yeah, but like think before, well, people came to these ponds and wells and springs, you know, all over the country, and was sort of like getting healing and other energies, but we just forgot it, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Because in sort of in the, from when it sort of went from the pagan time to the Christian time, they used these, they considered these wells and springs as holy and all the rest of it. But it was that bit sort of with the Protestant Reformation went across Europe that just destroyed all of it.
Yeah,
because they thought it was
yeah,
and they stamped it all out. And then it was also, you know, and then a bit later came all the witch burnings and everything.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it, you know. And now it's like anything that was once sacred is kind of considered, you know, by society. You know, so things like the number 13, that was a holy number because it's a divine feminine number. There's 13 lunar cycles in a year. That's like, that's a horrible number. Sex, you know, it's a sacred, like, really powerful thing, beautiful and loving. That's also got sort of, you know, these sort of, anything sacred has been defiled in lots of ways, and sort of everything's been made upside down. And now we're in this big process of trying to turn it back round.
Yeah. Remembering again.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask you, like the springs in Roskilde, they are not sort of like scattered like kilometers away from each other, like, so it's in a way the same water, but when you go to a spring, it all has different energies. How is that? You know, you have some like more. I do have energies, but sort of like
That's a really good question. And I used to wonder the same thing. And then as I got to work with the springs more and more, I realized it's because each spring has like an overlighting deity or nature spirit that works with it.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you take Klosterkielen, for example, the one with the old people's home, you've got two places where the water's coming up right by each other, and it feels like a really strong divine feminine energy there, but they're both quite different. And one of them feels to me like it has the energy of like sort of more Mother Mary, and the other one feels more like Mary Magdalene. And the Mother Mary one has this sort of deep stillness, this wise, sort of energy, of like the grandmother and the crone. Whereas the Mary Magdalene one, which is the one coming out the tap, it's all like bubbly and effervescent, and it's like going, yeah, life, And it's because there's different. So I would say there's different like overlighting deities there. Each spring has an elemental that works with it. So like a nature spirit.
Yeah. You could sort of like say they have their meaning, they have their task, or their sort of like
yeah. So it's like we're a human body, but it's actually the spirit that lives within our human body that makes us who we are. And it's the same with the springs. So that spring there, it's physically a body of water, and then it's got spirits that come and inhabit it, if you like. That's another way of seeing it, and that is what actually makes the energy. And I think that's also why, because like not all spring water has these, spring water is always lovely and pure, and like around here the water, it's this it's the from the ice age where the glaciers melted, and then they got trapped here because there's this underlying layer of calc of lime, and so it's this, you've got this incredible pureness in the water. It's not sort of tainted by being recycled. It's back from all these thousands and thousands of years ago, and it's so pure, and it's got its original purity. But then it's these spirits that inhabit it. So there are, because there's places around in Himalaya, because like this whole area and Elverdale, this whole area is just like it's just water coming up in so many different places. And some of them it is just lovely fresh water coming out, and there's no sort of like particular holy thing going on. But here, particularly in Roskilde, it's very holy. It's very sacred, and of course, it was the original sort of spiritual town in Denmark.
And I don't even know if people in Denmark know that, because like we have this sort of like small miniature town from 1200, how Roskilde was looking, and there were like 15 cluster, what are they called? More monasteries. Churches and
It was like a bit like how England used to be. There used to be like a couple of pubs down every street. Well, Roskilde, there was just churches and nunneries just everywhere.
The area is really not big. You can walk it like in But
I can't help thinking that before Christianity came along, this must have been a sacred place.
And Lejre, the neighbor commune we have. Because it has been.
That's right, because there was that pagan seat of power in Lejre, and then it shifted here with Christianity. But I can't believe that, because it's the land itself that is just so alive. In certain places around here, and it's just so kind of enlightened land. It's conscious, and it's like breathing, and so and those people, the Old Norse, they knew these sacred places. They would have known that I would think this would have been really, really sacred to them, probably so much that they wouldn't have dreamt of building on it. Actually, it would have been too holy, I think, for them to like build a city on it. But I've never really heard much about like before it was built on, and I don't know.
But isn't it funny? We were like two from other countries than from Denmark, and then talking about the holy places in Roskilde.
I know. Well, for me, I was already that way before I came here, and then I got married to Thomas, who's Danish, and he works at Roskilde University, but he's always lived in Copenhagen. And I did try living there with him for a couple of years, and then we went back to the UK for a while. But I didn't like Copenhagen's a nice city, but it's not for me. I'm not a city girl. All that concrete, I was like, oh god. So I was like, I want to go and live in Roskilde. There's springs. And but I didn't really know kind of whether they were special or anything. And I'd only sort of had to Roskilde once, and I did have a feeling, but I didn't really know. I was really winging it. And which has been one of the reasons why I've sort of like, it's taken me 6 years to realise, like, no, this is a special place. Because when I first came here, I just thought, am I just thinking that because I'm living here? You know what I mean? It's like, you want the place you live to be, you know, the best place or the specialist place or whatever. But no, it is. It really, really is. And so one of the things that I've also thought about since I've been here is like energetically, I've been aware that there's like an ascension grid growing in the town. And it's like, and I'm always, well, what's an ascension grid? And it's like, so these different power places you get around the world, like in Machu Picchu, or, you know, Rennes-le-Château in France, or Sedona in Arizona, they have certain energies that are doing certain jobs.
Yeah.
And some of them are here to like ground divinity. Other places are to hold the vibration of divine abundance. And they're like little computer programs, if you like, for places around the world, and they hold that energy for everybody. And like, because we're all interconnected, it sort of sends off the energy around the earth grid. So because that place is there, we can connect to it in Australia or, you know, wherever we are. And you know, a lot of these places have sort of degraded over the years because a lot of the energy lines and things have got like blocked up with a lot of from sort of humanity's thoughts and emotions and stuff like that. But a lot of it is being cleared up now. That the Earth's like energy is like, it's much lighter than it used to be. We still have, you know, a long way to go, but actually a huge amount has already been done in the last 20-30 years. It just, and the last 10 years, oh my god, you know, I've just felt it like shift just so hugely. And like, for me, it is a lot easier to be here on the planet now than it was 10 years ago.
Yes.
You know, do you feel that as
well? Yeah, but I would go a bit further back, sort of like, but again, it might be because I'm sort of like living where I want to live, and being more conscious about things that might be as well. But
because I was living where I was living before here in the UK was quite near London, and it was very, very heavy, dense energies.
But that's actually why I'm in Denmark. I'm so everybody knows I'm from Finland, and the energy is the reason. I knew when I came here. I was 18, 19 first time, and I knew, you know, it took me a few months. I was here in a course, some kind of school, and a kind of school, and I knew after 3 months that the energy was so much better for me than in Finland. And it's not that my country, my home country, you know, is a bad place or has a bad energy, but it just the energy was suiting better to me. But but what about them? You know, all these places we have around the world, and they are actually quite many. These sort of like where you can connect. It's easier to connect with both the earth energies and the high energies. I also feel that in a way they need us people to make the rituals to help them to open and to help them to keeping open. Like if they're just forgetting, the energy sort of like,
yeah, it's like a river that silts up, and then it all needs unblocking again. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, it does. The earth needs us to go and do rituals at these places, because we're like a conduit between heaven and earth. And when we do these things, the power that comes through us is just absolutely massive, and it completely blesses the earth from all of these spiritual powers and things that come in. And and it's nice, because we've been able to start doing some of that sort of stuff around here again. And I know a lot of shamanic practitioners and people like that, they do these kind of things, and it is starting to become more normal.
Yeah, and people are doing it. They're just not telling it. They have these places where they go and they do their whatever they have to do, and they know, either unconsciously or conscious, they know they are doing this work, but they're not telling about it. So that's why it's not that.
They're not going to work the next day saying, "Oh, I did the spring equinox ceremony yesterday."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think these things that when I look at the amount of people on Facebook that are in all these different spiritual groups and all the rest of it, it's quite big numbers, isn't it?
So good to see.
Yeah, we're really not alone. But going back to Roskilde, so I think Scandinavia. So because you haven't been to Glastonbury, have you? In the UK, you've heard me talk about it, haven't you? I said to you about Glastonbury. There's some sacred wells there, because I went and lived there for, I don't know, 6 months or something. Just because I had to go and live on the landscape, and I just needed to sort of absorb those energies. And there's a spring there called the Red Spring, and it's on Chalice Hill. And oh my word, Minna, you would love it. You would really, really love it. It's so deep and so divine feminine. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And a lot of people go there just to go and connect with these special energies and ley lines in Glastonbury. And that started to happen sort of 1930s, around that time. And because I think every place sort of wakes up at the time that's in the divine plan. And it was the time for that to wake up there, because there's a goddess temple there now. And that's in the actual town of Glastonbury. And I think it's the first goddess temple to be opened anywhere in Europe since 5,000 years ago or something. And they do marriages there and blessings and all sorts of things. And because I think the divine feminine energy has been coming in for quite a long time now, and it's quite well grounded here. I mean, all right, there's still improvements to be seen in our society, but as an energy, it's quite well established, I think. But ascension energies, and because you say ascension energies, and it's like, well, what does that mean? What does that actually mean? And I suppose, to me, it's the evolutionary point where we're at the moment, because we're going through a change. And all right, we're not developing a third tail or something. It's not something that is that tangible, because it's this stuff. It's a lot about our light bodies, and maybe our bodies will change over time. I mean, who knows? Because evolution takes thousands of years, doesn't it? It doesn't just. Well, I mean, don't want to limit anything, but but yeah, I suppose that's what I see ascension. It's something that's actually changing in us, where we and the earth are actually going through a process where we're becoming lighter by bringing more light into dense matter. So it's like the two are coming closer together. So you're not getting rid of one or the other. Somehow things.
But it is sort of like the whole society and world has been masculine in so many thousand years now, and it's also like in the society, like the feminists are talking about, you know, how you have to the males get more in wages and all this talk. But it's more like combining the two, the masculine and the feminine. It's that's what's happening now. But sort of like in ourselves and in the society and in everything, sort of like finding the two poles that sort of like has to come together. They have been separated for so long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the point where we're in our ascension process at the moment, is working with this unity consciousness. And something about this ascension energy is very present in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, because there's been a sudden fashion for Scandinavian things in the last, well, since I've been living here. I think it happened just before I moved here in the last couple of years. So it's sort of, because like when I met Thomas, I was like, I knew Denmark was sort of north somewhere. Didn't really know where it was. And a lot of English people, a lot of British people don't. I mean, it wasn't just me, you know, and people get it mixed up with Holland as well, because we call the Holland the people from the Netherlands, we call them Dutch. They're Dutch people. Because it begins with a D, people get it mixed up with Denmark. And they go, oh, Denmark, that's the place with the windmills, isn't it? Well, and then people think they mean because of the energy turbines, and it's not that. They're getting mixed up with, because it was flat. There used to be a lot of like old windmills in Holland, so they're actually getting the two countries mixed up. But now people know a lot about Scandinavia and Sweden and Norway, and they just didn't. And all this, you know, what's it called, New Nordic cooking and everything, all the books about Hygge, and all the rest
and like the Nordic countries, we have the, you know, the Iceland and Finland were the first countries in the whole world where women could get their vote, and sort of like the whole the especially in Denmark, you know, the whole feminist movement was really strong, and so we have this potential, and we have all these, both male and female, you know, the Nordic gods, and then came the Christianity. So we have sort of like the good wound to give rebirth to this new age and new type of living, more than in many other places.
Yeah, because I think like I said, like every place has its time, and like with Glastonbury, that energy matrix there sort of came online back in the 1930s, and it's been like fully online with lots of people working with it, and like people have gone there and written all about the landscape and seeing, you know, different astrology in the landscape, and, you know, just the different ways people have looked at it from different perspectives, whether it's UFOs or gods or goddesses or the people that are going around dowsing. There's just so many different spiritual things that you can find in Glastonbury. And yet when I came here to Roskilde, it's all here as well, but you know, there's not a lot of, apart from the people who live around here and are quite spiritual and sensitive, no one's really noticing it, and yet there's just as much here. But I think it's because this is only just starting to be its time now, because the earth needs this energy that's held here and in other places, you know, in other places around Denmark and Sweden. And I would imagine, you know, this whole part of Scandinavia, and, you know, obviously there's all these places I haven't been to, so I can't talk about them. But I just know my little bit here where we live, something is really happening, and it really needs people to connect to it.
So that's your new program.
That's it. That's the project. Because like when I first came here, all I did was work with the springs, and I did do tours, and I did take people around, and then I had to go to language school, and I was really unwell, and I just had to drop all my spiritual stuff completely. I just had no energy or resources for it. And then when I came back to it all, I started working all with this Sarah stuff, because that was what needed to be done then. And then, you know, for a while, because I have like a vision board up next to my bed, and I've had all the sacred Roskilde stuff all over it for the last year. And I've been looking at it going, why is nothing happening with you? Because I haven't been able to find what to do with it. But I've just had this frustration. And then when this American lady wrote to me the other day, and also the other Scottish lady who bought the book, I just thought, oh, I can do this stuff online.
Yeah.
Do it.
And also, you know, and like, because for me, the connection, my connection to the divine or God or whatever, it's always been nature since I was a child. And that's so good place to start, you know, even though you sort of like, if you listen to us and I think, what are they babbling about? You know, that doesn't make any sense. But just to get people into the nature is just, you know, just to start with. And then because you can just feel yourself and the energies in a different way if you just get a bit quiet and just be there. And it's the best, easiest place to do that.
Yeah. And all the time you're inside, your energy body is actually confined by kind of the size of the room and the lines in the room. And when you go out into the nature, your whole energy body opens up and expands into all the space around it. And it's just like, it's so good for your energy body to sort of be able to flow and soak up all those energies and interact with all of these nature spirits and things that are around. Because even though, you know, we might not necessarily be conscious of them, our energy body is. And our energy body needs all of those contacts. And because, I mean, like, people who are clairvoyant, you know, talk about seeing nature spirits and fairies and things. They're like tending to the plants and things all the time, making sure they're growing properly. And we're actually the same. We are also things that need tending to and make sure we're growing properly and all the same. And it's only until we go out in nature that these like elementals and nature spirits can actually attend to us, because they don't like coming inside. They don't like electricity and
no. And
but also just the lines of a room, it creates an energetic constriction that's just like, you can feel it, can't you, when you're inside? It's it's not until you're in an open space with nothing, no streets or anything around you, that you feel like you can just go, just like, you know, stretch.
And it's so easy to be in this moment when you're out there, because like you can, because in these small boxes where we live and you sort of like, you have your patterns, you know, your brain is usually, you know, doing the same tour again and again, whatever it's saying or thinking, whatever. But when you're out in the nature, it's sort of like, it forgets, it sort of like gets bigger. It's there is like the acceptance. That's one of the most marvelous things in nature. It's just, you just accept it, and often you have it's easier for you yourself to accept yourself, because like there's no boundaries, then there's no sort of like saying, oh, that's not good enough, or that's not whatever, you just accept it.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that, because all the time you're here, you're surrounded by other people's thought
And
forms
you're
and beliefs, aren't you? And all the you should be like you should be like that, and you should. And when you're out in nature with the trees and all the nature, they're not thinking that, are they? They couldn't give HIV.
Yeah, but I think the main problem is our own patterns, the thought patterns, and they sort of like they often in these spaces where we live, but when we come into the nature, they are sort of like flown away.
Yeah.
And like if it's like when I go and walk, like today I went to this 4 hour walk in Bowness nearby Roskilde with a friend, and just looking there was a deer, and then there was actually örn, not hawk, but a eagle. And you sort of like, and you look at the colors, and you look at the leaves and whatever, sort of like, then you are not in here, you're sort of like you're more out here, and being instead of doing, as
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Being instead of doing. Yeah.
Because even though we're not working or cooking or whatever, talking, but we are up here sort of like thinking, and that's doing as well. So it's so good place to just to be, and to say it's okay. You don't have to run or cycle or walk fast. You can just lay on the grass and for 2 hours and just be. Like the bee.
Oh dear, we all have to give up.
Yeah, we both. People don't know, but we love bees.
Oh yeah. Oh, the bees. There's been a real bee thing going on lately. But yeah, I was telling Minna just before we came on, I saw something in my news feed today about there's these Asian hornets that are coming in from Asia. So I know China's one of the places, but they think it's because of the climate's getting warmer, and they are hornets are really huge wasps, and these are even bigger than European hornets, and they eat honeybees. They actually they go into a nest, they go into a honeybee hive, and they tear apart the honeybees and feed them to their young.
And I suppose they eat the small eggs, the
yeah, and they're just completely destroying whole hives of honeybees. And in the UK, they're starting to see them now, and because they came over from France there's a small island called Jersey that's British, but it's really near France, and they have been going around and just like systematically going around, and because they make these sort of round nests in trees, these hornets, and just destroying them where they find it, because there is a risk that actually they might actually completely eradicate the honeybees. And it's like, wow, this is quite scary stuff. So I wanted us to say a prayer for the honeybees, because the honeybees are already under so much stress. So let's imagine coming into a beautiful garden somewhere. And this is a garden with beautiful high vibrations where all the energies are in balance and in right relationship with each other. And just imagine there that you can see honeybee hives and happy honeybees getting all the conditions that they need. Everything being balance and harmony, the nature being in balance and harmony. And then take that image and bring it down into a place local to you, wherever you live. Just feel that energy settling down over the landscape in your neighborhood, and just send thoughts of love and support to the honeybees and to all of the bees, the bumblebees as well, and also to the wasps and the hornets, because all of these species have their purpose, but we are sending out thoughts and prayers of balance and harmony so that they stay in balance with each other. Just feel that beautiful energy that you connected to before. Just bring it down and imagine it here around where you live, flowing in the same way. So, lots of blessings for the honeybees. Have you tried your new pack?
Once, yeah. I got Rachel to order one pack for me from England, because you can't get them on from online, or how do you say it, from internet or whatever. The queen bee, or queen mother, what's it called? I was asking what the bee guides wanted me to know right now. That was them, yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, you're the queen bee. And then when I pulled them the first time to ask what do I need to know right now, I got the bee guardian.
Oh, guardian, yeah,
guardian.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
They are so divine animals. I've always loved them.
Yeah, and they really do need our help right now. Thoughts and prayers. And I've just been reading Dorothy McLean autobiography. She was was it you I was telling the other day? She was one of the original founders of Findhorn up in Scotland, the spiritual community. And one of the angel messages that she got that I was reading was saying, we have to realize how much power our positive intentions and prayers have on the world of nature, and not to doubt that it does anything, but to realize actually they're much more powerful than we imagine. So that's another one of my projects that I do from time to time, is doing the Earth Ascension work, where we are working together to clear the energy in the oceans and on the earth. And I hope to be doing some more of that next year, because we really need to do it. And when we work in groups, it's even more powerful, much more powerful than when we do it. So, but going back to the Roskilde thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna do like a little thing for each power place, where I do like a little video so people can see it. I record the sound of the water and use that background to a meditation, and then I'll do a channeling from the place where it can sort of say whatever it wants to say. And also I make essences of each place as well, so I can do like a little thing online where people can go to the one that they feel drawn towards, and then do that. And also this will get me out.
Yeah. It's so beneficial, because it also gets the both spiritual people and all type of people, you know, sort of like getting the idea to go more outside.
Yeah, I need these sort of projects, especially good in the winter, because I can just stay inside all winter and not go out, because I look outside and I think,
yeah. Really good clothing, Rachel.
I know, I do. I have. I'm not a natural Scandinavian. I should have married a Hawaiian.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can do it together. Take some tea with us and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, because I've had a dream of writing a blog called Sacred Scandinavia, where we go and visit all these different places, because I know there's loads of them. Like there's so many sacred places all over Sjælland and on Foon and Northland and everywhere. Do you know what I mean? We can just, like, spend our lives going around and like visiting things and doing blogs and pictures, and I'd really love to do that. I really love to do that, because it's like, you know, it's bringing back these old.
You both bring more energy to them. You sort of like they're flourishing when you come, and sort of like it's both ways a good thing. You both gain.
Yeah, but what the other thing that, because it's all just sort of happened at the same time, which is how often how these things go, isn't it? Because it's synchronicity. But someone else who's been very inspirational for me is a guy called Tor Webster, and he does sacred tours in Glastonbury and has done for years. And he has, you know, you can book and do a tour with him online, and Jamie has gone and done like sacred tours with him. And he, you know, obviously because with the corona, he's not getting the people traveling to the UK now to do his tours. And I saw he'd written on Facebook saying he's going to use time to write the books that he's always been meaning to write, because people have often, you know so much stuff, Tor, about all of this. Have you got a book? And he's like, no, not had time to write that one. So he's going to take the time to do that. But he is also going to do virtual tours of Stonehenge and Glastonbury and Avebury. And I just think it's fantastic, because like you can still connect to the energy, and even just like hearing all the stories about it and everything, it's so magical. And it's a way for him to like make some income for himself as well, because, you know, obviously when you're self-employed, if suddenly all the people can't come, then you don't get any money, you know. But he has a site on Patreon, Tor Webster, TORWEBSTER, and he's just started it, and his work's just amazing. So many people have like gone on tours with him and recommended him, and so you know, go and have a look at his site, and I'm hoping to interview him soon, because I would really, you know, love to hear.
Name Tor, is he from Scandinavia then? Okay.
No, he's not. No, but I think there's, you know, something in that heritage for him, either from his family or from his soul, or I can't remember. I can't remember reading something about it, but because it is, because the you know, there's this sort of outcrop of rock in Glastonbury that's very high up, and it's called the Tor. And it's so you know, it also has like a connection to that, but he also does have some Scandinavian thing going on. But I'll ask him when I get. He's not the easiest man to.
But the Scandinavian countries and England, they have always been like the Danish language. I think all the English language, depends how you want to say it. It has like loaning words from each other for thousands of years. So yeah.
until I moved here, I had no idea about that, because we didn't really do any of that at school. We never learnt about that in the history. But there's so much, like, there's been so much crossover between Denmark, Britain, and, you know, other Scandinavian countries. It's untrue. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting things I've found out, and Ireland as well. Like, wow. Well, you know, we've nearly talked for an hour.
Time flies in good company. So.
Because me and Minna, we go out on long nature walks together, don't we? And then like we'll look at our watch and it's like 4 hours have gone by. And we're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Where did the time go? But yeah, I mean, because me and my husband, we were trying to buy a house recently near to the school where our son goes, only to find out that maybe he might not stay at that school. So we've decided to stay in Roskilde for a bit longer, because I was hoping to sort of go and live along the fjord next to the sea. But I could feel when I was walking around today, I thought, yeah, my work's not finished here yet. There's, you know, I need to live here another year to do all these things and make all these meditations. And meanwhile, we'll just have to, like, you know, cope with living in an apartment. So. I mean, in a year's time, we'll have that security of knowing where we're going to be, whether we're going to be in this communa or this communa, and then, you know, it's like, if we try to do anything now, it would be very fraught with uncertainty and, like, you know,
and there's a big difference if you have like 5 kilometers to a school or it's 20 kilometers. You know, it's a huge
it's a huge difference. But yeah, so I don't think, well, I don't think I'll be having a quiet winter. I have to make sure I get some quiet days.
You go outside, Rachel.
Don't you? It's like,
some warm clothes and hot tea and for me it's coffee, but
I know, perhaps I should get into drinking coffee, but it's just not my thing. I just can't do it, really.
It's too hyper, kind of, whatever.
Well, have you got anything planned for the rest of the week? Anything you know you're doing this week?
Can't quite remember. Not anything sort of like. No.
It's got the temperature's gone down quite a lot now.
The temperature, yes. Yeah. So I'm having my woolly socks and they're not shirts, what are they? Woolly jumpers. They are out in the balcony getting fresh air and getting ready.
Because it was like we were having a heat wave like 2 weeks ago, and
it now just came 1st of September, and boom,
that was it. But yeah, no, it's always been that way since the last 6 years. So
right,
every year it says maybe we'll get summer. I've never seen it. Maybe you get one every 20 years. I don't know.
But sometimes you can even have these warm days in October.
Yeah.
Not 30, but 20 degrees. Yeah.
Nice. I wouldn't mind that. All right, then. That's us, isn't it, for tonight?
We plan a tour out into the nature for week, and wish everybody a nice week, and go outside, people, out in the
go out into nature and let your energy body expand into freedom. Bye everyone. Nature blessings. Bye.